Hey y'all, I hope you're at Crafty Hope and welcome. I decided to play in this little junk journal I recently made. I had somebody that requested one and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to make one for myself. So I've played on the previous 2 pages of it, but decided to pop on the camera for this one. And you can see this, I don't know if you saw it, but this page was a little torn. I think in the rust dyeing of it kind of became a little brittle. So I'm firming it up with a couple pieces of either the same or similar paper, glued it down with my Oohoo glue stick to cover up the tears. And then to firm it up even more, I'm using some gesso, which to me tends to strengthen a page a bit. So I put a little gesso down. I'm rolling it out with my brayer. I think I'm going to put a little more gesso down actually. I'm sorry I didn't record that page on the left. I'm going to try to be better about, popping on the camera. But ever since, let's see, this page was actually I recorded a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to do my best to remember what all I did here. So I've got plenty of gesso down just to kind of pick up the texture I've got in there along with firm up that page. Now, this is a Stabilo all pencil in blue. It's a fairly new purchase for me, and I haven't played with it a whole lot. In fact, if I put another junk journal page up, it'll probably have this pencil in there too, because I'm really enjoying this blue Stabilo all. But I decided to make some sketchy lines just right on top of that gesso I had brayered out. And of course, it's water soluble, so I will activate it with a wet paintbrush because that's what I do. If it's water soluble and can be activated, I tend to do that. I like watery effects. So I have, what are those? I'm trying to splash off a little if there's anything on there, but no, there's not much there. So I'm going to go ahead and try this. I picked up a graphite stick. This is also water soluble. I dipped it into my water and I'm just flinging it at the page, getting some really yummy grunginess there. And now I will try it. So I'm going to come back in here and pulled out this little pad of collage papers. This was in a unboxing I did from Your Creative Studio. It's a cute little pad that's got several different types of paper in it, like different it's like you get small pages of all the same design, and there's like, I don't know, 5 more designs. I don't even know. I haven't counted how many, but I thought I might use that. So I tore it down a little bit, and then was like, let me go ahead and start deciding what my focal is going to be. And I picked up this photo booth, which was a leftover one from, I believe, my Crafty Hope prompts when I did photo booth. I'd put a little bit of some kind of modeling paste or texture paste on it through a stencil just for fun. It's long since dried and just been lingering, so it's going to become the focal in this. As you can see, I roughed up the edges with that little Tim Holtz tool and have pulled out some Distress Oxide in not black soot. What color is that? That's walnut stain. And I'm going around the edges to pick up where I distressed it. And then again, water soluble. So wet paintbrush comes out and I am wetting those edges to kind of get it to soak into those roughed up edges along with that little bit of modeling paste I have on there, the texture of that. So I'm going to dry it. I will apologize that I didn't realize how zoomed in I was when I filmed this. So some of the things are kind of going to be off camera more toward me because, I just did not realize how tiny I was working in this instance. So once I get that dry, I've got this piece of torn paper that I keep messing around with. I decided what I need to do was alter it. So kind of down there toward me again, I pull out Distress Oxide in Blueprint Sketch along with Uncharted Mariner Distress Oxide Spray. So I'm going to pull out a piece of acetate and put the ink pad onto it, wet it with a sprayer, just spray some water on it, and then splash it onto that little piece of paper, and then I will spray the Uncharted Mariner also onto that paper. So I am sorry so much of that was off camera, but it was really just getting some blues and Distress Oxides on there. I did fling, I think, some water on there, and then I dried it. So I've got this little altered piece of paper that is blue that kind of matches the blue lines I made in the background. And I'm going to start creating this little stack here with the lady, with that little bit of fabric, that little bit of paper from your creative studio, and the book page that I altered with the Distress Oxide. So it felt like it needed a bit more texture to it. So I've got this piece of lace that has it was some kind of texture paste that I created. I think it's like joint compound and what all did I have in there? Like joint compound and plaster of Paris and gesso, and it just kind of stiffened up and made this lace kind of weird. So I tore it down, cut it down, and I decided it would be a nice little element in here. So you can see I've got my little stack there, and I'm deciding what I want to do to kind of put it together. So I decided, hey, I do love my stitches. Let me start stitching, and I was so anxious to get started, I forgot to tie a knot. So there, I'm tying my knot in it, kind of arranging everything back up. And I'm just going to do just some straight stitches over on the left, just to kind of tack over on the right, to tack everything together, to get everything, that backing papers, that bit of lace, and my photo booth. And that's what I'm using to tack them together here. I don't even remember how many stitches I put down this. It's not many. It's like 5 to 7 maybe. But really, I just wanted to make sure these things were stuck together. And that adds another little pop of blue color on there. I was a little disturbed that lace made the photo sit a little weird on there. So in a second, I'm going to go grab some double-sided foam tape and put that on the back to pop that up a little bit so everything's kind of the same height. But first, I'm going to finish off my stitches. I'll flip this over, tie it off real quick. Do I even tie it off? I think I might I just ran the thread back through some of the stitches and clipped it because I knew I was going to glue it. So yeah, see there, I'm like, I need something here. So there's some like little foamy double-sided things I'm going to stick down, peel the backers off, and then stick that all together. So it's hidden back there, but gives it that elevated element. All right, so I felt like the background still needed something. So I've got that walnut stained Distress Oxide, that piece of acetate, my sprayer. I'm going to put all that together and then create some like intentional splatters is what I like to call this, where I didn't really splatter it. It works. So I've got that down. What do I do? Do I go ahead and dry this? Yes, of course I do. I'm going to dry it. Now I've got my picture. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do with it. I end up deciding that upper right corner is right where I need it, but I needed a sentiment. I sorted through all kinds of stuff. I cut that out because y'all need to see it and ended up finding a little phrase on it's probably a song title or an album title or something. That's what a lot of the little strips of typed up things are in this container. And I can't even remember what this one says. You'll see it at the end. I end up inking at the edges a little bit with walnut stain distress ink, just to age it a little bit, because it's an index card. It's fairly white. And then I think I end up grabbing the blueprint sketch too and going around the edges of it as well, because I felt like it just wasn't standing out. I was struggling with getting that to pop just a little bit more and not blend into the background. So what I end up doing is I grab, I think, a piece of that lace I had trimmed off. Yep, right there. And I was like, that might work. That'll integrate everything. So sure enough, I'm going to use it. And that's why I keep all those scraps, y'all. You never know. I'll grab my Fabri-Tac and go ahead and glue my focal with my girl on it down. Yeah, just getting that everywhere. And see, that is going to seal down that stitch that I didn't knot down, so it's fine. And I decided to go ahead and glue my lace down before my sentiment. And then once I get all that down, I decide that it really needs a bit of darkening to it. Like there's not enough dark elements on here. So I will take the what do you call it? That graphite stick again and splatter it one more time on the page before I dry it and be done. This was a super quick, you can tell by the time of this, really quick, just needed to play kind of page, and I'm hoping to share more of those with y'all coming up. So let me know if you like this. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see y'all later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.